Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kinguin Pro League. We're just done casting a match between Frezar and Strifecrow. Strifecrow took the lead 3-1 and is going to win his second match in a row for the second week. So he's currently 2-0 in the entire event, and I think Frezar is currently 0-2 as a result of this last match. So Strifecrow's got to feel pretty confident going forward in the tournament. And it's pretty important to get those early leads to at least have some, maneuvering. You have a little bit of, I guess, your wins to maneuver with in the future in case you lose something in a round robin. Must feel pretty good for Strifecrow here.
Yeah, really well played series from it. It looks pretty one-sided this time around. Frezar might have some work to do for next week. Maybe work on some of the deck list. I don't necessarily think that like some of the stuff was quite optimal, but it's 10 weeks. We're only 2 games in, so anything can happen.
Yeah, it's a long-term event. It's going to end in May. It's a round-robin thing, so, we still have 8 weeks of tournaments, and the players who lose today aren't getting eliminated at all. They have 8 more matches, or rather 7 more matches to play, so they've still got a good chance. And this is kind of the beginning stage of the event so far. The whole league still has a long time to go. We've had, last week was done. This week, this is the last day, so it's going to conclude 2 weeks of the entire league to go. And I'm really curious to see how it's going to look at, once we hit the middle mark, about 5 weeks in, this is when things are going to start shaping up. You're going to be able to evaluate really who's got a good chance of coming out on top, and that's going to become, and this is also where players will try to at least stay for Season 2. So they'll have to fight their way to, if they know they can't necessarily win the top 3, maybe just at least maintain themselves in the event for the following season. So that's going to be pretty important.
Yeah. So for the next match, we have Thjs and Gaara. Thjs bringing Druid, Mage, and Rogue. That's like as standard as it gets.
Yeah. I guess
Thjs
Rogue and
has been playing
Hunter.
those 3 in like every event, I think, and every thing. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be Mage, and but it's all solid decks. Like those are like some of my favorites. Like definitely like 3 out of 4 or 3 out of 3 maybe even. So pretty solid. And Gaara known for his bit like different deck building. He's gonna bring completely different lineup: Hunter, Shaman, and Warlock. What do you think of that?
What I like is, number one, there's no decks that overlap. Not a single one of these players is playing a class that the other one is. So where Thjs brings, he brings Druid as a very, I want to say comfort pick because he's just so solid at it. It's one of those decks that he's played forever. Mage is also pretty, it's a good aggressive deck that you can put pressure on fairly easily and steal games off of people. Probably the most consistent aggro deck in the meta. And Rogue, overall, I feel like Rogue doesn't really have a hard counter outside of maybe Control Warrior. Like, I'd say Control Warrior is probably the only thing that really hard loses to. And Face Hunter as well, which, just punishes you for even breathing. So you're dead before you can even start countering.
Do you think Gaara maybe brought a Face Hunter?
That's what I'm thinking. If he did, which I wouldn't be too... this is not out of character for Gaara. I could imagine him bringing that to a tournament. That could punish Thjs pretty severely if it queues into the Rogue or even the Druid. If Face Hunter gets a good start and Druid can't stop him, then there's no way he's going to be able to... He can switch, turn the tides sometime during the mid-game, but it gets pretty tough. So if Gaara brought that, that could be really, really interesting.
Yeah, and also Gaara's Warlock. Could it be Demons? What did Gaara bring Warlock last time?
I forget the decks that he brought last time. I know there was one unusual deck. I forget what it was. It's slipping my mind as we speak. But I remember that he had one unusual deck from the lineup. And as far as Warlocks go, I remember at WCA he played a Handlock. That's all I can. I made a misplay against him where I played the Fire Elemental instead of Sludge, and I got insta-killed with Arcane Golem. So I know he's playing Handlock.
Still salty about it.
He could not really. It was just a massively well executed combo on his part.
Yeah, okay.
And so he had this Warlock list. So I feel he's comfortable with Handlock. So it's definitely possible for him to bring this to the tournament.
It could be. I mean, I don't really remember Gaara bringing a Zoo, and like we talked about earlier on, Zoo is not that big of a thing right now. So it's probably Handlock, but it could be Demons.
So the team tells us that Thjs is going to be using his Rogue for the first match, and Gaara is going to play his Shaman. Gaara Best Shaman, that's his name on Twitch. A wink to the older days of World of Warcraft when he played with, what was it, Butter Master? I forget the name of the red pally he used to do 2v2 with. Anyway, that being said,
Yeah, even for the best shaman, it's like pretty tough to be the rogue. I gotta be honest. Like that, I'm speaking to Loyan, who might be like the one of the, if not the best, one of the best European shaman players, and he says that rogue is the most difficult matchup. It's the one bad matchup. It's like so bad.
It's
But,
so hard
it's
to
like,
get anything done.
and even if it's a mech shaman, which then I'm not that familiar with it. But what I do know about mech shaman is that it's really bad at recovering. Like after your body gets wiped, it's like one of the worst classes at coming back from that point on, because there's no Antonidas spare parts or anything, any kind of like backup plan.
Yeah,
So
you're
he
right.
could be in
Actually,
trouble here.
that's kind of the plan B of Mage is, well, I'm gonna do as much as I can with my board, and once it's gone, which it will be, most of like at some point, then at least I've got that top deck Archmage. If I have spare parts or a Frostbolt, then I can suddenly, you know, finish off the opponent with them. But Mage, I mean, Shaman has no such thing, and there's nothing like that in the Shaman arsenal. So yeah, I mean, if it's a more standard Shaman, then I guess, I mean, it's still tough against Rogue, but it's a little.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a bit confused about keeping the Hex. I don't know why he kept Hex in the starting hand.
Prep Dr. Boom turn 1.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, you mean it doesn't work like Innervate?
I never tried it. Maybe it works like that. It actually might, because I haven't tried it out. But yeah, but Gaara is the best shaman, like we talked, and sure he knows what he's doing. But still, I'm a bit confused about keeping the Hex. It looks even worse because he drew a second one, but yeah. Okay.
Maybe the matchup is so bad against Rogue that you can't afford not like leaving that Violet Teacher up. And you need to have an answer to the first Violet Teacher that comes down.
Yeah, like how I play with my shaman against rogues is like I try to have as good as like early game as possible. Then just go like Flame Tongue and face as much as possible and just risk the poison flurry. Just risk it, like take the chance there. Because if they have it, then you're gonna lose anyway.
Yeah, you can't beat it.
Kind of play, but that's how I roll. Oh my god.
Well,
yeah.
That Hex is gonna pay off. No 1/1s will be spawned here. Then again, I'm assuming the Hex is played here, and I think that's
looks like the Hex, and they're gonna even follow it up with a zombie. So it appears that it was like an alright to have the Hex. So Gaara really knowing what he's doing. I wouldn't have known, I guess. Then in the end, even the second Hex has a target here if he plays the Belcher.
Yeah, there's also a good play with Blood Mage, Backstab, SI7, and finish off one of the 1/1s. There's like many lines of play that can be taken here. Some of them are more passive, which is the Sludge, and other ones are more proactive.
I actually really like the play that you were suggesting, but this is not bad because you just saw a Hex. So in case there's no other Hex, the Belcher would get a lot of value.
Yeah, I mean, how many targets does a rogue have in her deck for hexes, right? They've got Violet Teachers, and that's it. I think it's one of the only 2 decks maybe that don't run Dr. Boom, for instance. Like Face Hunter and Rogue, maybe.
Yeah. Well, this is some shaman lessons for me right here. I've been kind of ignoring the class because I really don't like it right now. So I'm really interested to see how Gaara plays this.
I like the Gnomish Inventor. It's a throwback to some of the older lists that we used to have. It's just not been played much recently.
Me too. Like it's actually one of my like favorite neutral cards. I really like the idea of having the 4-drop which draws card, and also the fact that the stats on it are that it's more heavy on the defense side, so it's a sticky minion.
It lives, unlike Gnomish Experimenter, which just doesn't live as a 3-drop that draws a card.
It's like for a rogue to remove it, the rogue has to eviscerate, but it's like it doesn't feel good to eviscerate. It feels so bad to eviscerate.
Yeah, I've done it, but it's just horrible.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. Kind of like the Oasis Snapjaw that used to be a thing in the Hunter, where you like don't want to sap it, but if you don't sap it, then you have to deal 7 damage to it. You don't want to deal 7 damage to it, so it's a bit similar in that way, in my opinion.
Yeah, the old Sunshine Hunter that used to... It was just mid-range Hunter, it used to give you nightmares. Because you never really had an amazing way to deal with their stuff. I like the use of Crackle here. I mean, it's possibly a huge overkill. Yeah, like in this case... But you have to remove it. Rogue doesn't have a Tinker Sharpsword body right now, and you've got the board, you got a Flame Tongue, you got a Defender of Argus. The only thing that's going to throw you out of this game is going to be an amazing Blade Fury later on if you overextend.
Yep, but Thjs' hand right now looks kind of empty. There's no Dr. Boom, there's no sprint. There's not even any like good minions, he only has a small one.
Yeah. You take a chance, but he's gonna be able to cycle through though. That's kind of what rogues do. They'll be able to hold off their aggression, or your aggression rather, until they can get a good sprint. And then they're back in the game.
Wow.
It's good Lothab here.
It's really good.
I'd like to see that Lothab come down.
Me too. That'll block the sprint, but we can see from the hands that it's like by far the best play. But I think that even without seeing the hands, you know it's the best play, because last turn was so weak from the rogue. And it really looks like the rogue does not have either not many minions left or no minions at all based on that turn. So it's like now there's no play really. Wow, this is such an awful turn.
Yeah, you can't sap because you're in the exact same spot next turn, so I guess you have to face tank that 5 damage.
Oh man.
Is this just a pass turn? I can't believe I'm gonna witness this. This is just an end turn, right? Like
I think I might consider redaggering here.
Yeah, I was gonna say you redagger for the Tinker setup, perhaps. But
yeah, probably, or maybe even hit that low and then redagger.
5, yeah, because that way she dies to Eviscerate on the following turn.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I do like that line of play.
And like
but
set it up to that. Then he would keep a fresh weapon.
Oh, he decides to opt for the go face, and that's gonna be a little bit more passive. But honestly, when he does find Blade Flurry, that could be a pretty big moment. Oh goodness, never mind the Blade Flurry. What is it gonna deal with?
Oh wow.
That's some heavy beatdown coming from Gaara. There's no prep to simplify the entire process for Thjs.
You can like fan and double levies. It doesn't feel good though.
Yeah, I don't think it's much of a choice though. You kind of have to. You hope that your Tinkers with the South Sea deckhand is gonna save you, but
you can't take like the beating from all of that stuff. There's no way. Like you want to sprint here, but it's you can't do it. There's too much damage on the board.
Yeah.
You gotta go for some kind of clear here, and you can't do it if you sprint. So start with the fan and see what happens next.
Deadly Poison is top decked. Okay.
And actually, I don't think it does anything.
Well, you could play it and then double Eviscerate, set up the biggest dagger you can, and hope that you win soon. But honestly, I don't know. I mean, you can't even kill Lothab with that Eviscerate.
I really wish that he punched the Lothab last turn. With the,
just to kill with the second Eviscerate, like we said, just getting that kill
like we
with
talked
Eviscerate.
about. Yeah, so now it would be actually, he could get a full clear here if he did that. So he could like Evis and then Deadly Poison to clear up the defender.
Well, he's just gonna opt to buff his dagger and go on that Lothab, take another 6 to the face.
I think it's like banking on sprinting into a Blade Flurry here.
Yeah, but Gaara's got this game in his pockets. He's got to be feeling, because 7 damage on board, you haven't seen any good response from the rogue, so you have to assume his hand is very situational. Possibly 2 sprints that you haven't given him the opportunity to draw, to use. So.
But I wouldn't count him out completely just yet, because if there's a flurry, Gaara actually has no direct damage left in his hand. So he does not have the follow-up damage to finish off the rogue, even though the rogue will be really low.
Yeah, I don't think you can play Zombie Chow here, just because getting her that extra health would probably mean you lose the game right away.
So here, no question, you sprint for the
You sprint
flurry.
for that flurry, and if you don't find it, you you say goodbye to the game because it's over at that point.
It's a concede if he doesn't get it. Oh, there it is, the first one.
So he does find the flurry, which is actually going to be his saving grace, if anything, in this game, but he still has to deal damage to that shaman, and using his face here is just not an option.
Shaman gets 2 draws here, one from the Blood Mage and another on his turn, so there could be like an Alla here to just end the game right here.
So heal bot, creeper, or do you just not heal? So he wants to heal bot next turn with defender? Wow, okay.
I would probably not play the zombie here. Or do you play?
No.
Oh, that's actually a close call, because a lot of rogues run some heals. And then it's like not that relevant, but I really would not want to play it.
You play Zombie Chow, then you Earthshock it. No, but it's true. What are you gonna Earthshock on the rogue side?
That's true. It actually might be.
I didn't think about that, but
ridiculous
it's just
as it sounds, because you know that already. Like the Blood Mage is already played.
yeah. There's nothing else. So you're gonna like silence a Violet Teacher?
I think it was Gaara's blood mates actually. So maybe there is blood mates left in the rogue. But I don't know if it's right, but I like
He's
it.
going to do it.
Please
Oh,
do it.
what? He did not. Oh, I'm disappointed now. I don't want to play this game anymore.
That's gonna let him heal.
Yeah, he's gonna get an eviscerate on it, which...
Yeah, he can heal up now. I don't like this. I would like either play it and Earthshake like you suggested or not play it at all.
So, what about Drake? You see what you get if you get Flurry, you dagger up Deadly and then Flurry the board.
Something.
And then, otherwise you just eviscerate the zombie child to stay alive.
I think you can just play like a Violet Teacher and double Evis. Like you Evis the zombie and you Evis the
Defender?
defender.
Okay.
You lose a bit of direct damage there, like the Shaman is at 17. But I think that's like completely fine still.
I really wish Gaara had silenced his own zombie chow here. I think it would have made the world's difference as far as...
Yeah, I would love that play. Okay, the sap is actually pretty good here. I think that's fine. I mean, it's not... Sapping a 2-drop is not that great, but it was buffed already.
So, Thjs is on effective 11 health here. You know, 8 if you count the damage that's on the board. Ooh. A little bit more damage coming in, and it's gonna be just enough with Earth Shock to get rid of the Drake.
Yep, so that Earthshake is gonna be good. He doesn't even need to trade off the Taunt Totem.
Yeah, which actually maybe keeping that Earth Shock would have been...
Yeah.
Well, he would have actually won though if he'd silenced off his own
Yeah,
shadow.
I mean
he would win now, right?
Yeah, I don't like the zombie chap. But maybe it's enough about that already.
Yep. All right, so
Okay.
we've got the Drake down here. There's really nothing but a flurry that's gonna put Thjs out of his misery.
Yeah. How much damage is that with the South Sea forehead?
Okay, so let's assume you dagger up because you have to pay 2 mana for that, and then you deadly.
I think you're gonna trade the forehead for the fire elemental. Like you oil up the South Sea deck and then trade it for the fire lily.
So 2, 3, 4, 8. Yeah, you have to trade it away, and then you could eviscerate the 2/3, I guess.
Yeah. Ugh.
It feels so bad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like all your burst is gone for removal.
There's still one more flurry somewhere in there, and he probably plays some kind of heal. Okay.
Oh, is he gonna eviscerate SI on the fire elemental and just leave it at that? Get himself a pretty solid board.
Yeah, I guess that works.
Okay,
That's actually pretty good. It leaves him with a really solid board. Probably the best plan.
Yep.
He gets a good board going here. And a lot of the shaman stuff deal 3 damage. Oh, like that one right there. So Gaara is still 1 off.
Well, I think you can afford doing it because if you put your opponent, like you play heal bot, you're safe from massive bursts in general. I'd say you've seen 2 eviscerate, so you're not worried about that. And if you heal bot to 25, you just go full face. If he clears your spiders, then you still get like a little bit 1 damage to deal to his face. He can't use his weapon for removal once you play the heal bot.
I think you go face, yeah. I feel so bad for Gaara for playing the zombie, so I shouldn't like go back to that play anymore, but
it just sticks to me because I feel like the game would be over by now if it hadn't.
Yeah, because they're like fire elemental, rock biter. Thjs could not stop those 3 damage draws, like.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Do you put the rogue down to 1? Like that's the question, or do you trade something? Maybe you kill off the 1/1 at least. Like, is there any reason to put him down to 1 instead of 2?
Yeah, because if your spiders get wiped and only 1 of them survives, then you win. Like.
Do you trade everything and just hope that the rogue runs out of creatures? Because that's also a thing. Like rogue
that's also a viable option. Yeah, you're right. But yeah.
Okay.
I don't dislike that line of play. It's actually pretty solid. Oh, that prep sprint is gonna give Thjs the hand he needs to deal with this if ever there's a time for him to get it.
The problem here is that if the rogue actually clears the board, then it's pretty much game. I guess.
It's gonna be a spell power totem crackle or die.
Okay. Well, not the worst possible draws. He can spell power backstab the heal, but
actually it's probably one of the almost safest possible outcomes for him here. I mean, there's only 1 damage on Gaara's board. He needs to top deck Flame Tongue to get a relevant amount of damage out, and then you win right now with South Sea Tinkers if he does get the Flame Tongue anyway. So.
I guess
Oh, man.
Alec, it's like there's no way to play around Alec here. Like he can't clear every single bit of power, or is there a way to like clear all of it, like absolutely everything?
Yeah. So I'm just curious here. Do you think Gaara should just have played more aggressively? Because right now he looks like he's on the back foot.
Maybe, but the rogue is almost like, because I played a lot of this rogue, and the rogue can honestly like his deck is almost empty, and a lot of the minions are already gone. So I actually don't know like what would have been like the best possible. I can understand the line of play that Gaara took. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Because
He's gonna
like,
sap the
because of
spider.
the way the rogue can completely get out of minions.
Yeah, she will run out eventually. It's kind of like the old Miracle Rogue, which had the same problem. Wait,
Wow.
I thought he was gonna stab the spider and kill the
Yeah, me
totem.
too.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my goodness. 5. He needs a 6 or 7. Oh
The
no!
lowest possible roll. Oh, that
Wow.
crackle.
Again, if he went for face.
Wait, he wins. Wait, no. If he's not dead,
This is-
no.
Whoa, this is so crazy.
This is fatigue. Is he almost dead?
But the fatigue is only 1 damage.
Yeah. There's no way he dies right away. all of that because of a zombie chow. Okay, so he needs to calculate dagger up, deadly tinkers. That's pretty straightforward.
Oh.
And then you blade flurry right away, no questions asked, which kills everything. But if you can't win now, you have to kill the spiders.
Wow.
So there's 7 on board. So you take out like with blade flurry those 2 totems. So you got 2 plus. Yeah, this is lethal, I think. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. With dagger, he's fine. He's exactly at 10 mana usage with all his plays.
Deckhand loses the charge after you flurry. Hold on, I can't do the math right now. Okay. Does he have it?
I think it might come down to him just passing into the fatigue, just using his 2/2 to wipe the 2 tokens because he
Yeah,
used
That's what's going to happen.
2/1. But is that lethal? I don't see the
No, it
lethal.
was
I
not
think
lethal. It was 6 plus 6 plus 7. It was like 2-0. Okay.
wait. Gaara could win. Oh my god. Okay, wait. Does the taunt totem save
If
him?
he rolls a taunt totem, he wins. He needs a taunt totem.
He can't play the Drake here. There is no way he can.
No!
What?
He would have won the game if he rolled a taunt totem. No, Gaara. There was no way that he can win with that. No! He had a 1 in 4. That was all. Gaara, no! Gaara! Don't.
I'm weeping for all the shamans out there right now. That
What
was not what I thought
yeah,
was gonna
he had
happen.
7. Was he at 7? How much did he have?
He had 9 health.
I think he had 9. Yeah, that's what I saw too.
If he,
So he
if he had
actually, like-
9, he would have won with a stone claw roll.
Why would he play the Drake there? Why, God?
Maybe he plays ancestral healing.
Oh.
All right. Well, regardless, this is gonna be the game in favor of Thjs. Game 1. What an intense game.
What a game.
This is crazy. That was like probably the most intense game we've had in a while. At least today was like the most intense game for sure.
We will never find out if it would have been a taunt totem. We will never find out.
It's like you need some closure after this game. Like you need to know what would Blizzard have done to Gaara. Well,
Oh.
he's gonna be able to replay his shaman at the very least. So Thjs' rogue is locked out, which means Thjs only has druid and mage, where Gaara still has his entire lineup: hunter, shaman, and warlock. So let's assume you expect your opponent to have either druid and mage. Which of hunter, shaman, and warlock do you take? If it's handlock, maybe.
Maybe.
Handlock versus druid and mage. I think that's a pretty good.
Druid and mage. Yeah, that's
Hellfires.
Yes.
Yeah. It comes down to those Hellfires though a lot. So. Yeah. All right. So we are
Fair.
told that for the next game, Thjs is gonna go for his druid and Gaara is gonna go for his shaman again. Maybe get some redemption here for that from that last game. I still can't believe the way this whole thing went down. If Crackle had done his job, it had a 50% chance to kill. Or
Yeah.
wait, no, better yet, it had a 75. Because if it had dealt 5 instead of 4, the fatigue would have killed Thjs.
That's true. That's true.
So
It didn't-
75% lethal
Wow.
on the Crackle.
Then he still had a 25% there in the end if he tried to go for the taunt item.
Oh, I can't believe the end of that game. And this is...
It's crazy.
But what do you think? Was he fetching for anything at 5 mana Drake? I mean, I can't think of a single card outside of Ancestral Healing, the taunt, that would have helped him.
No, it
Like
had
the
to
only
be
one.
taunt thing. But I don't think it's in the list. Like I can't imagine he would actually play that card.
Yeah, I can't imagine it either. I'm just trying to figure out what it is that... I mean, his deck looks too standard to play funky shenanigans like Ancestral Healing.
Okay.
Alright.
Going into the game, this is actually a good matchup for Gaara. Like I practiced a lot of Shaman a while back for the sole purpose to beat Druid. And this is like 60 or 70% for the Shaman. Like Shaman can make a really sticky board, and Druid only has swipe for the AoE, so it's pretty good. I have not played a Shaman in the tournament because I felt like it was not good enough, because you give up too much in other matchups. But Druid is definitely the matchup that you want with that.
So Gaara decides to go for the fast Haunted Creeper on the board, which is fine because it curves out with a totem like immediately. But
Yep.
that wild growth from Thjs is pretty clutch actually. It's gonna allow him to put pressure on the Shaman that maybe the Shaman won't have time to respond to, which is typically what gives Shaman the edge in this matchup.
Yeah. That wild growth was so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, curving
As
out with
always,
a trend.
in every matchup it's the same thing, like it's just really huge.
Yeah, there's really no bad time for that.
Oh.
So you have the option of toteming up. If it's spell power, you Earth Shock trade the creeper, and if it's not the spell power, then I guess you just rock bite it down, or do you just let it live and storm it later?
I would probably rock pirates here. Just hope that there's something with 1 toughness pops, which is unlikely, but still.
Could be a Captain's Ferret, you never know.
Yeah, it could be. Novice Engineer.
Well, that's not that at all. In fact, it's probably one of the best outcomes for
It's
Thjs.
decent. Yeah.
It's a pretty sweet. A 2/3 minion is
Yeah.
more annoying to deal with Lightning Storm than a 3/2.
It's no Millhouse, but it's really solid. And if ever something weird happens, and there's like a healing totem on the board, it's actually gonna give some free punches from the healing totem. It's pretty funny.
I would have maybe considered silencing out the creeper here, but
Yeah, me too. I would have considered it, but I think he wanted to clear that because of the potential like flame time or something.
yeah, getting a 3 damage up on that 2/3 without losing a minion. And he's just gonna like snap play Sylvanas here, put
Wow.
pressure on the Shaman, not even double thinking about that, just instant play from him.
That wild growth's really like paying off. Oh, but that's a nice draw. Wild growth's really paying off, as I was gonna say, because like he's just getting so powerful minions every single turn. Got like Thjs is curving out really beautifully here.
Yeah, and he's got even more follow-ups as far as curving. For this turn though, I like Gaara's Gaara, like the double zombie chow.
Yeah,
It's pretty
I-
fun.
I
Like
like
it doesn't really heal anyone, so pretty sweet.
it's a pretty good swipe to Thjs, but that means that there's no lore. So you can pop the spider first with the creeper, and like throw in the.
Oh wait,
the
you can even
boxer.
get a, you can
Wow.
even get a shot off.
Oh, wow! He's actually not going for it. I would like snap swipe there, I think.
Yeah, me too.
Like the
I
clear-
like pop
yeah, the-
spider.
You
Then...
could have gotten a full clear on the board and shade. Okay. So if you do this play, do you then trade the player on the storm?
If you kill the zombie shot with swipe, you could have gotten a punch from the boxer guy,
Mm-hmm.
but not really a huge deal.
Oh yeah! Wow!
You would have gotten the
Brilliant.
punch
I
from
missed-
it.
Wait, you're a genius. I didn't see that. That's true. The zombie chow healing the player would actually be a punch from there.
Yeah, I think it would
Oh
could have
my
killed the
God.
spider left over, or finished off the second zombie chow that was up.
Yeah. Thjs is really falling behind here.
Yeah, the game started off amazing, but now unless you can, well, Keeper of the Grove swipe is still pretty good. Like you just pop
Yeah.
that spider, then swipe the Drake, and
Yes.
you're suddenly back into this game.
Keeper for 2 damage. He has a clear here still.
Hmm
He had a pretty sweet clear last time too, but he still has one here. I think he should take it.
This is pretty much the perfect opportunity because you're still curving out pretty well next turn. Like you're gonna be 1 mana saturation off if you play Shade and Sludge, and if you play, if you decide to go for Sludge and Kazan Mystic just to get her out of your hand, then you're still fine. So I think either way, the follow-up turns are just great for Thjs.
The Kazan is really weak against everything without secrets really.
Yeah.
But it's even weaker against. Okay.
I can tell you that Shade is not gonna grow very much. That's gonna be a Snap Storm from Gaara once the Cheesers come down.
It's a bit interesting to me that he chose to Fire Elemental the face. I guess he's expecting like a Braten trade, but I feel like the face damage for 3 is pretty irrelevant. I might have just even if not chucking the Keeper off the board, still Fire Rally the Keeper. Because the 3 on face seems so irrelevant. I don't know. Now it would die to a Storm if he Fire Elemental on...
So, do you think Thjs read into that Firely face to mean I don't have to weaken your Keep of the Grove because I don't have Storm?
I guess.
I'm just trying to figure out here why Gaara... I mean, pinging the face is not a bad move. I've done it in this spot. Because worst case scenario, he trades up with Wrath and you don't really care about damaging it. Oh, that's a really nice roll.
That's pretty sweet, yeah.
Oh wow, the perfect.
This is really good.
Perfect outcome here. If it hits for 4 on the Keeper of the Grove, that's gonna make up for the bad crackle of last game.
Yeah, but again, like not that would be dead if he. Okay, why would you Fire Elemental face when your opponent has 29?
Because you expect him to trade, but I think in this case it wasn't a good.
There's like other stuff that can happen. It just feels like completely wasted on face. Oh well.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to burst his opponent down because he didn't get the early board presence the Shaman needs to get to really compete. Also, there's a Power Mace in Gaara's deck. Which mech did he run? I saw a Powder Shredder. Did I even see one?
Yeah. Was there one like a Harvest Golem maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But at least the Pilot is Shredders.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I can't see many like nowadays. You don't really see many decks not even run it. I've seen Freeze Mage with Pilot Shredders. Like, I've seen Freeze Mage try to run Pilot Shredder for the mid-game, and I was kind of amused by it. It just goes to show that card has such potential that you see it show up in just about every possible place.
Yeah, it's really strong.
Man, if Gaara gets another Storm, this could get pretty crazy, but if he doesn't, it's gonna get pretty weak, actually. Another Storm would be an amazing draw.
Yeah. I guess that's kind of okay. I don't know. Well, no, it's not. It's not that right. Oops, for a healing totem. Doesn't get it.
Whoa, 4, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 8 is 17. So it's not even lethal with Savage Roar. So he calculated it and decided.
It's like
that
1 off, right? 9 plus 9. Yep, it's 1 off. Because he can also hero power. So yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be 1 off lethal.
The roar is still pretty good, I think, because he can get some nice trades.
You can get good trades up. The thing is after that you have no follow-ups to really keep the aggression going. But at least you'll keep 1 minion if you play properly. Wait, no, because your keeper has to go. Well, it'll go face, I guess. You'll use your face for the 1/1.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is like the best board possible, and all of a sudden you have to trade it all away because Lotheb fell down.
Do you trade all? Like, how much of it do you have to trade? You have to trade at least something, obviously, but
well, you trade away the Shade, I think. So
probably because it's like perfectly at 5 attack.
And then, well, your face goes into Searing, 6/4 into. Well, you don't. Do you have to kill Lotheb? Not unless you're afraid of Crackle Burst. But there are 2 cards that Gaara's been holding, so. So 5. Plus 6. There could be a lethal here, I think, unless I'm mistaken.
6 plus 6 plus. It's actually lethal no matter what the roll is.
Yeah.
Because it's 6 power on the board. Power mace.
8 plus power mace. Yeah, this is.
Oh wait, does he need a 4? Hold on. 6 plus 5.
11.
Okay,
he needs.
So he needs a 4.
He needs to crackle first, essentially, is what we're saying in
Yes.
this position.
Crackle other than 3, and he wins. So it's 75%.
And if Crackle hits, poorly, then you just hex the 4/4 and keep going. Like, you start with Crackle just to see where things go.
Looks like
apparently...
extreme fast, though.
Well, he disagrees. He says, you know what? That's pretty all-in play from Gaara. If it doesn't work out, then he's giving his opponent the chance to just come back. But if this Crackle hits for 3, my name is Sean Paul, and it's not Sean Paul, so we're gonna see Thjs go down to the Crackle here. Gaara gonna take his win, some retribution for the Shaman who got completely... I'd say the RNG on Crackle last game just lost him completely everything. And the admins are trolling us here. You don't see it, chat, but we're not crazy. I can't focus anymore. Okay, well, so Gaara wins, equalizing the score in this series. So you can't play Shaman anymore. I can't focus, dude. I really can't. I need to find something else to look at. So Gaara's got his Hunter and Warlock left, and Thjs has still his Druid and his Mage. So Hunter Warlock versus Druid and Mage.
Yep.
That lineup could go either way still. Like, I can't say that one of them has an edge on...
Me neither. Oh my goodness.
Please take this out, guys. I can't focus. Like, this is unreal. I'm taking a screenshot to show it to Twitch chat. So how much you mistreat us. This is not realistic. I can't focus right now. So yeah, Hunter Warlock versus Druid Mage. I would say that based on this, Thjs should probably stick to his Mage, because Druid versus Hunter is not a super favorite matchup, and if it's Handlock, Druid versus Handlock doesn't really have it too well either. So I think going for the Mage is probably a safer bet overall.
I think so too. I would bring out the Mage, but if you're Gaara and you figure it out that there's a Mage coming, then you pick the Warlock, right?
Yeah, I'd pick Warlock like either way, because it's still like either way both are good against Druid, so you might as well take Warlock, which is also probably has a safer foothold on the board against Mage, especially if it's Demon Lock. Demon Lock has an exceptionally good matchup against Mech Mage, I found.
That's true. It's really good. Like, that's how because somebody hit rank with Demon Lock as well, and that's how they got it. Like, it was by farming Mech Mages, because back then Mech Mage was the #1 thing, and this guy had like 27 and 2 score or whatever against Mech Mage and farmed all the way. So if it's Demons, I think he should really like try to match it up against the Mech Mage and maybe predict it from Thjs here.
Yeah. So Thjs is in fact picking his Mage, but Gaara decides to go for his Hunter. So we're gonna see a Hunter versus Mage, not a Warlock versus Mage. So this might indicate that it's more of a Handlock perhaps than a mid-range Warlock, because I think that would have been possibly an auto pick.
Yeah, I think so too. There was a Leroy Jenkins, so I guess it's safe to say that it's or is it safe to say that it's a Face Hunter? Maybe it's not yet. Oh, there's a Glaivezuka too. Yeah,
Glaivezuka is sometimes used in mid-range hunters to remove like early game stuff, but in general it's kind of restricted to that Face Hunter deck.
But he did also give two drops, which is kind of weird, because the Face Hunter generally runs 6 1-drops. So it's like
it is a golden hunter.
Try to find a 1-drop if you're going first.
He didn't try to, so well he has to be running Leper Gnomes though, doesn't he?
Yeah, if it's Face Hunter, yeah, he has to. I mean, the Glaivezuka gives the way. It has to be a Face Hunter. He just prefers a different line of play then.
So you kill that Creeper, then you develop the Anoyotron.
Yeah, I think so.
That's going to put a little dent in Gaara's ability to keep pressing.
The Glaivezuka will get through, but it still seems like the play. He could also kill that on just being and go for like Anoyotron and make for the next turn. I don't know. Uh-oh. Well, that's gonna get traded by the Abusive Sergeant.
Oh, wow. Magnificently even. This is an entire board wipe here for Gaara.
Yeah.
You Abusive first, then you could play Mad Scientist even. You don't even have to play Glaivezuka yet. But if you play Glaivezuka, you remove the Mad Scientist right away.
Yeah. So. You don't need the Glaivezuka here. I agree with that Abusive Sergeant Mad Scientist. I think it's way better.
Then again, you have 2 Glaivezukas, you're gonna have to use them up eventually.
That's true. I mean, 2 Glaivezukas is far from perfect.
Yeah, it's just looking a little redundant.
Like the minions, just getting the minions on the board right now seems so valuable still. Because the Mage AoE is really lacking. Like, all they have really is the Blast Mage, and even for that he needs a mech, which he doesn't have just yet.
Yeah, and I don't know that his Blast Mage is gonna get the value that it wants because the only mech that Thjs can really play right now, let's say he plays Spider Tank or Noyotron, both of them get traded into pretty easily.
Yeah.
A little bit tricky for Thjs afterwards.
Yeah. Does not want to give the Hunter a trap just yet. Ready to ride. But I feel like you maybe don't do that just yet.
I like Glaive Zuka way too much.
Yeah, me too. Hope that it
So
lands
strong.
on one of the 1/1s. Because then you can Glaive Zuka and
Yeah, use the
2/1.
2/1. The odds were good, so we're gonna
Probably
we're gonna
another 2 drop, because it's gonna get like with hero power you get 2 damage in right now. But if you play the second Mad Scientist, you know that it will get at least that 2 damage next time, because there's no way for the mage to clear. So I think it's just straight up better, like no matter how you look at it, play the Scientist here. Okay, he's gonna hero power.
Yeah, and since you're playing Mech Mage, you might as well try to race them. It is, after all, you know, aggro versus aggro. So if you maintain a board that they can't, then suddenly the racing, you know, is tilted slightly in your favor.
But I don't see the point in holding on to the second Mad Scientist here. And maybe he wants to get like both of the explosive traps.
Yeah, I would have done the
like
same
you were
thing.
guaranteed to, because the hero, you were guaranteed to get minimum 2 damage with that.
Yep. Yeah, you would have essentially like left the board exactly as it is. Both of you would have, like, you would have ended up with an extra Mad Scientist, and his would be out of the way with one Mirror Entity as well. So.
It might be like 6 damage. Like now it's just look at this now. Oh, but there's a mirror entity, right?
This is gonna be a crazy Wolf Rider. Actually.
Maybe that was the reason. Like because there's a mirror entity up there.
Yeah. Yeah, but it still would have left the board exactly as it is. You spawn one, then you trade yours into his, then you get your own. Like, it would have essentially negated the whole thing. Well, Hunter is going to just go face. He says, if you want to trade, feel free to do so. If you decide to race, you're going to lose it to my Explosive Trap. So he's giving away the Explosive Trap, I think, here.
Yeah.
Not that Thjs couldn't have figured him out. Oh, wait, Clockwork Gnome. Oh, you trigger the trap, you Clockwork Blast Mage.
That's so good.
This is on curve.
That's really good.
Wow.
Thjs has been really unlucky with this stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if he hit face 4 times.
You know how devastating that would be? No, it's not.
Yes.
Okay.
Not this time. I know, it would be really devastating.
Well, still, if you look at the Iron BKL, that Noyotron gets negated. I think right now you just play Mad Scientist, Glaive Zuka, hit face, and with hero power, and then if he plays a Noyotron, you Iron Beak Wolf Rider and just keep punching until you find the lethal.
I like that a lot.
Wow, and that Mad Scientist is just gonna feed another explosive trap.
Yeah, so nice. Really good that he didn't throw that. Like, this Mad Scientist stuff is so incredible when you actually get the secrets from the Scientist. You never throw the secrets to your hand. Because it feels, at least in my opinion, the secrets by themselves, like when you draw it to hand, they're really underwhelming. They're not good. It's like half a card or so. But when you get it from the Scientist for free, it's like pretty amazing.
What's interesting about the Mad Scientist is that it's valuable in 2 classes because those 2 classes have impactful secrets.
Oh yeah.
And if that card didn't exist, you probably wouldn't see as many. I guess you could still see mirror entities with Kirin Mage, you know, as a kind of an exception. But in Hunter, the secrets used to be good. They would still see a bit of play, but maybe not as much, or they wouldn't feel as strong at all, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you're trading to that Scientist for the moment.
What to do?
Yeah.
What to do?
A Noyotron, Frostbolt face. Ping face. You freeze his weapon, so he can't kill the Mad Scientist on anything, theoretically. So he doesn't get this trap, and then you just drop Dr. Boom, trade into Mad Scientist, get the Boom Boss.
What to do?
So.
What to do?
There's a few lines of play, and I think honestly I like the Noyotron Frostbolt face to slow down the weapon.
So.
I mean, you don't know that he's got Iron Beak and Wolf Rider, obviously.
I think you first trade off the 2/1, then you trigger the trap, then you play the Noyotron.
Do you really want to trigger the trap though? That's the big question. I think he doesn't want to. I think he just wants to avoid taking as much damage as is remotely possible.
Oh yeah.
Because when the trap comes out with Mad Scientist, Dr. Boom drops, the Boom bots finish off the Hunter.
Yeah, this is
And
actually,
then-
yeah, I like this play a lot. Because now he has at least some top decks for the win. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good.
Well, I think this is going to be an obvious Iron BKL on the Noyotron, and then you just trade your 4-2 into the 5-4, and your explosive trap is just going to finish this off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is an unfortunate sequence of events for Thjs, though. That Iron BKL is really, really clutch.
But he did the right play. I didn't even say that. Like, it's just ignoring everything. That was the winning play. Like, it gave him the best chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it might not in the end. Oh, and there's the
Ooh,
fire.
wait.
Oh
6,
my goodness.
7, 8, 9. One off lethal.
So he needs to, like... can he trade everything? Play the Dr. Boom. Next turn, kill him with the Boom Bots and Fireball.
So you trade your 2-1 into the 3-1. You check
No.
if you get this. Well, you could get a spare part that gives more attack, I guess, but I don't know. Oh man, this is so bad.
Wow.
This is horrible.
Got
Ugh.
a freeze, I think. Or is it even good? I don't
Armor
know.
plating, that does nothing.
Ugh.
You have to play Dr. Boom here, right? Like, you
Yeah, I
can't
think
possibly
so.
not play Dr. Boom.
Try to, like...
Oh, unless he's playing around.
Yeah, he has to Dr. Boom. But is he dead then? Then that's...
2, 4.
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. Because the Wolf Rider. Because the Wolf Rider deals 4 with the
Yeah,
Leok
with the
on 4.
Leok.
Mm-hmm. Rip Thjs. If he fireballs that Leok, there's like no way he can win. That would make him survive, but he wouldn't win that way.
Yeah. It's gonna be exact lethal for Gaara. That Leok actually clutch here, getting him the extra 1 attack on Wolf Rider.
Yep.
I mean, he could have gotten a Huff for the last turn, which would have probably been even better in that case, but... This is gonna be game 2-1 for Gaara in this series. So he takes the lead after a a pretty unfortunate performance last week. He's gonna be able to take this one. Thjs also, I think, lost the match he had last week, so that's giving. But both of these players are in the exact same situation as far as the entire league goes. So Gaara's gonna be pretty happy to get that win. And also, you know, Gaara's tournament performance hasn't been the best recently, of recent days. I can't focus again. These guys, I swear to God, the admins are gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me eventually. So, he has 2 decks out. So Gaara has used his Hunter, he's used his Shaman, he's got his Warlock left.
Yep.
He's got to
So-
win versus Thjs' either Druid or the Mage of Thjs.
Yeah, I think that he's gonna bring out the Druid. Druid seems to me that it might have better chances against the slow Warlock that Gaara is likely to run. We kind of know that it's not Demon right now, because I'm pretty sure that if it was Demon Lock, he would have played it in the previous game to try and match it up against the Mech Mage.
Yeah, I think
So
it was
I'm-
too good to pass.
Yeah, it was too good to pass up, so I think it's gonna be Handlock then. And against the Handlock, I
Fast
kind of
Druid.
feel like Druid has a better chance.
Well, Fast Druid is known. I mean, actually, Fast Druid came about when Handlock was dominant. If you remember, that's kind of how it started happening. Handlock was everywhere. People started playing Druid with double combo and Spectral Knights, and everything started snowballing from there, where people realized it's fast enough it's got enough minions to deal with the Giants, where a good Savage Roar will take care of them. You play a BGH and your matchup increases drastically. And as a result, it's an archetype that's been sticking around because it punishes bad starts very easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we can see that actually we got the words from the admin that Thjs will pick the Druid. And knowing Thjs, he plays some at least 1 big game hunter, maybe even 2.
Yeah,
So if there's big game hunters and he draws them in time and Gaara is playing Handlock, he's gonna have a good time.
yeah, if you get the early lead with that BGH, if you manage to get, I mean, and there's also, you know, if it's Handlock, you also want those Keepers of the Grove for the Twilight Drakes, which are also pretty important. If the Twilight Drakes come in and you can't really contest the board and you have to expend, you know, Wrath plus an early Shade that you might have had, that becomes really problematic for you.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna be jumping into the game to see what kind of Warlock is being run right now by Gaara. I'm really curious. So it is Demon Lock.
He needs demons.
Okay, well, I guess he.
Excited. I think Gaara just like almost is guaranteed to win the series even if we lose this game because of the mech mage coming after. But let's focus on this for now. This can go either way.
Yeah, Gaara's got to feel pretty good though, because he knows that even if he loses this game, Thjs has to win with Mech Mage versus Demon Lock, as you said.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a pretty, I wouldn't say lopsided, but let's just say, you know, Demon Lock has about 70% win rate against Mech Mage. They have so much healing.
More. But yeah. This one looks like anything could happen. There's the double Wild Growths in Thjs' hand right now, and he even has a Drake. Drake is really nice to have. Oh, an Oyotron. Wow.
As I said,
Demon Lock.
homebrewed decks from Gaara. I fully expect him to bring that kind of stuff to tournaments. It's kind of become a habit. I just wait for him to show up with a deck that he kind of took something that he knew worked and tweaks it.
Wow.
I like
this
that
is really Gaara style. I love seeing Gaara play because of how unique his deck building is sometimes. It's like way more fun than just seeing the same decks all over, like in every single game.
What do you mean, mid-range hunter and fast druid?
Uh-huh.
No way. Nobody plays that.
It's like really exciting to watch the druids compete at who gets the wild growth.
How's your hand, man? Whoa! Whoa!
What? Gaara? What is this? This looks like an arena.
No, I know what this is. No way. If my... I don't want to make a prediction come true, but I'm gonna call it. There's a Hobgoblin in Gaara's deck.
Hobgoblin, but there's also Void Caller and Twilight.
That is why there's an Oyotron and the Echoing Oozes. I have played a mid-range Warlock exactly like this, and it was tons of fun. And a Voidwalker, this is it. This is it. This is the hybrid... The hybrid mid-range Warlock handlock. Oh my god, I cannot believe what I'm witnessing.
Yes. Gaara, I'm a fan of yours now. This
Please marry me.
This is
This
awesome.
is crazy. Alright, well... I hope we get to see the Hobgoblin though, because sometimes when you don't get it... I mean, this is not Zoo, so the draw is a bit slower. Zoo tends to play Jeeves to replenish as soon as they're out of options.
Wow.
We're gonna see how this goes. I'm really curious. Innervate Powdered Shredder is actually a really good good follow-up, but it's sort of vulnerable to Hellfire, I guess. Maybe that's why he's a little worried.
He does have 2 minions at 4, and even the Shredder has the Death Rattle, so Hellfire doesn't actually kill any of those.
It's only weak if he's got Hellfire and Mortal Coil at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
In which case he takes everything except the Death Rattle.
He could have the coil thingy, but good for Thjs, he doesn't.
So you start with Hellfire is my guess. I mean, I don't think you can afford not doing so, right?
I think so too, yeah.
Keeper of the Grove was instrumental here for Thjs. Getting that Twilight Drake out of the way early was really important. He did have 2 Wild Growths, but without Keeper...
could you maybe... Because tapping feels like it's really a good thing to do with that, so if you could like tap, hope to get a demon, then maybe silence the Shredder and trade. Play the Voidwalker first, so then you will pull out the good demon.
But you're leaving a lot on the board for
That's
the opponent to play with.
That's true. That's a problem.
Well, he kind of doesn't want to get his Voidwalker out right now, but...
but he has to trade with the Drake, I think.
You could actually trade with the 3-2 and get the Voidwalker out so it trades with either of the other ones.
Spellpower is pretty spooky though.
Yeah, spooky. Spooky, scary spell power.
Well, what does it do? Maybe it actually might be better. No, but you can't leave up the spell power. It's gonna be there like for many turns in a row if you don't kill it now.
Yeah, he doesn't. Well, he'll have to side with
inside.
I don't think that's an option. Actually, you could just double an Oyotron afterwards, right?
No. Oh.
Yeah, just like double an Oyotron and let the opponent deal with it.
Yeah, I hope that there's no swipe. Just like be like hello, hello.
That's gonna be a... See, this is exactly the trade on the Bad Bomber I really liked. I really like that trade. It's vulnerable to Wrath, because you can Wrath for card draw and hero power, but other than that, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, it actually worked out alright.
But if we don't see a Hobgoblin come out, this mid game is gonna be pretty weak for Gaara. It's looking pretty weak right now, in
It's
fact.
gonna be so amazing if he draws it though.
Yeah,
Please,
Thijs' face is going to explode.
I have no time
Alright,
for
so we
games.
see Sylvanas and Hero Power trade with Keeper.
But
So that's
it's
a
like
pretty good Siphon Soul, right?
Yeah, it has to be the Siphon.
I like the Siphon Soul here. Pretty sweet. Oh, oh crap. I still like it, but I would have liked it more if that giant cost 0. Then again, he'd be dead.
I have not seen a deck like this before. It has so many things going for it. It's like the giant.
It's mid-range
and-
Warlock. It's like his mid-range Handlock. It's a hybrid between like it's a mix of Zoo, Demon Lock, and Handlock. It's the hybrid lock.
Wow.
That's what I called it when initially GVG came out. This was one of my first decks, and I called it the hybrid lock because I had no idea what name it had, because I'd never seen it. But it wasn't that effective. I'm just surprised that Gaara's playing something pretty much exactly like it. So it's gonna be a double Inoyotron turn, I think.
Looks like it.
Yep. I like it because it actually stops that Drake dead in his tracks, and Thijs must be a bit confused now.
Yeah. What just happened? Do scenarios for the buffs?
You know what? I like that just because my Drake would die otherwise. So that's.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is such a strong play though. But BGH becomes problematic. Then
Kind
again,
of.
do you
I
really
mean, it
care?
can hunt Sylvanas. The Sylvanas will still steal something, because you can't really like silence it, because then you can't pick Game Hunt anymore.
You know the problem? It's like a Tyrion problem, right?
Oh, wow.
I was gonna say the problem with buffing your minions is that effectively you're buffing them just to take out a Divine Shield, and that's pretty horrible.
It kind of works out okay, because there's no more AoE.
Oh man, this is not too good.
No, he needs to tap for something amazing, but I don't even know what he can get.
Well, he's gonna get a good Molten Giant eventually. It's just that right now, if Thijs finds a Swipe or a Savage Roar, this is pretty much game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out here what could... I mean, Defensive Argus lets you trade with the 2 Treants. So I
That's
guess you
true.
could go for a Defender, and then you silence off Sylvanas with your Owl.
I mean, you can
So-
also like drop the slimes. I don't know.
And Defender?
Yeah,
okay.
something like that. Just try to flood the board and hope that pray that there's no swipe.
There will come a day where there'll be a metagame where this is a common occurrence, right? And everybody knows how to deal with this.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, he actually did go with.
Yeah,
So
I
now
like
it's
that.
like praying that there's no swipe.
Yeah. Or anything, really, for that matter. Oh, wow. Harrison Jones and Kazan Mystic, that's 2 dead cards in Thijs' hand.
Yeah, it's not good at all. Those reactive cards are not paying off here.
I can't believe he's getting bombarded by Echoing Oozes and Inoyotrons, and he's having problems against it. It's so
It's
funny.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
Those
I just,
small
I
ninjas
don't,
are so good.
I don't understand this.
They're a lame guy. Not that they would be like amazing, but they're doing a lot of work still.
Yeah.
Okay, Shadow
Well-
Flame.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think there's much here that really saves you.
Like Shadow Flame, so he can big Game Hunter and Shadow Flame. The big BGH. Oh, he didn't get it.
This
But then
is terrible.
if he got the Shadow Flame, it would have been like almost a full clear.
So you have to Siphon Soul scenarios, right?
Ugh. Can you win? Then you take 13. You can like, I don't know.
So you silence the... I don't even know what you do. I want to say you silence something and then you play Siphon Soul. So let's assume you silence the 5/6. Then you silence the tree and you kill Sylvanas with your 2/3. You give him
You
the
could ta-
owl. but
You could
it's-
tap for a Shadow Flame, then you could play an Owl after that and silence the
Man,
silence the Sylvanas, blow up the Owl, and trade it for the... Yeah, okay.
So he is
Maybe he
going to
doesn't
the
do
line
play,
of
so-
play. Yeah, well that's the thing, you have to make cuts, and that deck didn't contain any Hellfires in my version. But he
Yeah.
obviously had one, so...
They might not even be the Shadow Flame. So how much is that? 13.
Actually,
They
you could
can,
win right now if he finds a Savage Roar.
Yeah, Savage Star would do it.
Ancient of Lore would win this game, but Thijs has got to be wondering, what is Gaara holding in his hand right now?
Let's see if finds drawer. Oh, wrong piece.
Yep, and he's not gonna play that Zombie Chow, not giving his opponent a chance to draw. But now that Molten Giant is free, not that that saves Gaara,
Yeah.
but it's a piece of helpful minions at least.
Oh, just
I
a little bit late.
I knew it. I knew this was a thing. All
You
right.
knew it. Yeah, you knew it.
This is
I
crazy.
had no idea. You knew it.
Oh goodness. All right. Well, this is gonna be game. Gaara still has a game to go though, because Thjs merely equalized here. It is a 2-2 series. Again, another 3-2. That's gonna be ending up as a 3-2. It was. It was actually really cool because the past weekend, the first day of this week, we had kind of we had a few 3-0s in the series. 3-0s and 3-1s were kind of the common theme. So having a lot of, we had a 3-1 and 2 3-2s today, which is actually pretty cool. That was pretty nice.
Yeah,
So,
I'm really excited to see this demon deck or hobgoblin deck or okay, let's just call it the hybrid deck. Okay, so
Hybrid.
I'm really excited to see this hybrid warlock deck in action again.
against Mech Mage, I'm actually curious how it's gonna fare because I know that typical mech does pretty well. I mean, the typical demon log does pretty well, but with the modification with Noyotron and Hobgoblin, it kind of slows down your curve a little bit. It accelerates it in a way because you can play them right away if you have them to contest the early game board. But if you get them mid game against a control deck, then you can just flood them all at once, and they suddenly have to respond with a massive AOE.
Yeah, I'm only guessing here. I have no experience in that matchup, but I think that it's pretty good for the warlock. But the thing that worries me from the warlock's perspective is that we didn't see any heals, right? So
I saw nothing.
So there was no heals. So if the mage gets enough damage in with his early minions, then there's like Fireball Frostbolt or whatever, then the mage might have enough reach to finish off the warlock before the warlock takes over with the hero power and all the stats from the hobgoblins and stuff.
Yeah, the thing with this specific matchup against Mage is that if you get a Hellfire, you're gonna be pretty much okay for the mid game, and then it's just a matter of transitioning. The problem without having heals is you can't actually save yourself from possible burst. But as a counterpart, the Mage is also less likely to overextend or less likely to try to burst you down if he knows you're playing Demon Lock, since one of the strengths of the deck is to have a lot of available healing.
Yeah.
So maybe Thjs will not go all in on damage as a result.
Could be. There actually was a Shadow of Flame, like we're about to get to the game, so...
Yeah, we're waiting on Thjs' perspective, I believe.
Okay. Just a moment. Yeah, Mech Mage versus Hobgoblin Warlocks.
I can't believe I'm seeing Hobgoblin in a competitive format. I expected somebody sometime to bring Hobgoblin Zoo.
Yeah.
But this is kind of a cooler version where it's a little later in the game.
I thought Tides of Time would have brought it sometime, but seems that Gaara was the first one. Or maybe it has been played before, but I just can't remember.
So there is no healing in Gaara's deck, but there is a Jaraxxus.
Wow, looking at the starting hand, it's almost as if we switched the deck. Like, okay, it's a normal hand lock, no big deal.
Yeah, you couldn't tell from the beginning.
It's
Oh
pretty
my
funny.
god, it just stays normal.
Yeah, it's
All the way
actually
through.
pretty funny. Looking at the hand, like, it looks like a hand lock hand. But we know that it's something completely different. I think he should tap here. Go for the, because he has the Molten Giant in hand already. The Hellfire is gonna kill everything in any case.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think tapping is better just because you've got Hellfire, but then again, if he's not running any healing, maybe he's gonna be a little wary of going all in on the Hellfire. Oh wow, that Void Caller.
If he did not have the Hellfire, I would play that every time. Oh wow, what a start. But again, he has the Hellfire.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be enough to deal with a 4 health Tinkertown. You have to play... Oh wow. This is not good. Oh.
Oh, but that's good.
Sort of, depending on how things pan out.
It's so difficult for Mech Mage to deal with if it actually gets pulled out from that.
Oh my god. What? Okay, he's not playing into Hellfire. I was gonna say, why is he not playing Mech Warper? And then I realized he's facing Warlock. He's not an idiot. But this game could end like now, almost. I'm exaggerating a bit, but look, he's on 14 health against 5 damage on board. I guess that Molten Giant is gonna have to carry.
Yeah, but there's 0 burns just yet. And he can play the Echoing Ooze too, so he gets 3 taunts. I mean, the Oozes don't do much, but they are still there.
I would have almost played Mirror Entity here just to get the Giant that I... Then again, he did not see Molten last game, did he? Oh man, this is gonna be a pretty interesting turn.
Yeah. I think
Actually, it's gonna be Molten.
First, then he like...
Molten, Echoing, Sun Fury, I like that.
I think so, yeah.
Yep, I think this is a pretty standard. You're gonna get a lot of taunts at the very least.
Yep.
He just has to live through 3 turns to get Jiraxis out.
It looks so bad for Gaara with the health totals, but Dice has no burn at all.
And that 8...
It throws like 1 fireball, Gaara is gonna be on a clock.
Yeah, but then again, he does have 8 damage right now to go through the Molten, like right away. No problems at all. And then if he finds a reversing switch, he pings an Ooze. I don't know, there's a lot of things that could go pretty wrong for Gaara, but he has stabilized. That Molten is really buying him the time that he needs.
Yeah.
It's really, really helpful. Time Rewinder. Get another spare part, I guess, but not exactly the most relevant right now.
This game might also come down to whether or not Gaara pulls the Mal'Ganis from the Void Collar.
Yeah, you need Jiraxis for healing at this point, or at least you want Jiraxis from healing. But he did get a good spare part from that Yeti. He got the emergency coolant, which is going to buy him a turn on something big that he doesn't want to face.
It's pretty good. I think the taunt would have been even slightly better, but that's like the second best thing. Usually that's the best one. But here, like, taunting of the Void Collar would have been so amazing.
Yeah, he's going to have to...
guarantees that you get that stuff fast.
Is Dice not going to play around Shadow Flame? No way.
No.
Okay.
I don't think he can with this hand.
Well, that's
not bad.
That's actually not terrible.
No.
Mistress of Pain. You could Mistress of Pain and Defend of Argus.
I think so.
I like
then you
that.
can take out the Mech Warper and still have the Sun Fury at 2. That's
yeah, and you're
good.
gonna get 2 health off of her.
Yeah. And the following them from the Mistress. And you gotta get the Mistress out of your hand so that you can Void Collar. But you can't go Void Collar and Mistress.
Yeah, no way. Not
die,
this turn.
likely to die.
Yeah, Mistress of Pain on the far left, Defend of Argus between her and the Sun Fury seems like a good play. So these demons are actually like, they used to be unplayable almost, or considered unplayable. Whoa, he's gonna go for the gamble. Oh,
Wow.
That's some heavy gambling from Gaara here. I mean, I see his thinking, but I have to say, I'm not sure I agree.
But we know the cards, and from Gaara's perspective, it might look like he has to rush down the Mal'Ganis before he dies. So he might feel like there's pressure to get it out really quickly. Because with the line of play that we were considering, it would take out take one more turn to try to get the thing with the Void Collar.
Yep.
So I can understand why he chose to do this.
Oh man, this is so dangerous. If that Mistress of Pain comes out from the Void Collar, this is pretty much game. I mean, it's pretty cool to have it, but at the same time, it's horrible.
Okay, so he can now play it from his hand. So
yeah, you go. Yeah, you can go Mistress of Pain and then Defender both,
No, I don't think. Well, then it doesn't trade, but it's like it's a bit weird.
You'll trade with a Void Collar into the 5/4 if you buff it up. You go Mistress of Pain, Defender. You trade into 5/4. You get either of your demons, and you still have to go through the taunt.
Yeah, you got me sold on that one. But it's
you can
just
even freeze one.
If you get like the Jiraxis, you really want to taunt it up.
Yeah. But then again, you're pretty close to playing Mal'Ganis from hand. Like if you Mistress, Defender, and then freeze, let's say the Mech Warper or the Snow Chugger, then you can go an Oyotra next turn, which is actually not too bad.
That's actually really interesting. If you freeze that 4-3 here and just don't... Yeah, I actually like this a lot.
Yeah, this is actually really gonna buy him the time he wants.
It's really good.
He can't die. Well, actually, wait, that Blast Mage.
Oh!
Time Rewinder, Blast Mage.
It's not enough mana to also cast the Fireball.
No, but it's close enough that it deals a lot. It's gonna deal a lot of damage. Man, you know, this is really tense because this is still anyone's game. It's gonna come down to some really clutch follow-ups.
Yeah.
Actually, Mirror Entity is not bad, but I think it's a pretty good time to play it. You can't really fireball Mistress of Pain because you need to fireball face. Man, he's one off lethal again.
Let's see what he gets. Ooh,
double cloak field on those 5/4s and 4/4. That's pretty powerful.
Oh, he can cloak field that. Oh, this is so good. He can cloak field the 4/4 that he just played.
Yeah.
He can time rewind the blast. No, it doesn't work. It's still the heal. It's gonna heal from the taunt. It's gonna.
Yeah. The taunter is guaranteed to give health back, which is the problem right now. That's the problem that Thjs is facing is Fireball is nice for the face, but it's not going to be enough to deal with the 2/5, the healing from the 2/5. But honestly though, Anoyotron is going to be the clutch play here because it's going to put one too many taunts for Thjs to deal with.
I like the double cloak field here.
Yeah, it is the best.
For Gaara that he pulled that one, like instead of the Mal'Ganis. I think Gaara would be guaranteed to win because the Mal'Ganis would have been on the board, and he could play the Jaraxxus on the following turn. So it was kind of failure.
But despite the bad luck, though, I mean, you look at Twilight Drake, he's gonna put down an Anoyotron, which is effectively 2 taunts, and Voidwalker, which is 1 taunt, and he's got 2 health from that taunted Mistress of Pain. So that's a lot of taunting going on from Gaara. And honestly, unless Thjs top decks like a Frostbolt or another Fireball, it's gonna be pretty much over. I have to give this game to. So far, I think this game might be Gaara's. It's pretty close. It borders on. I mean, it's still winnable. It's still winnable.
He might get one more throw at the potential win. He can survive this. So if he top decks the Fireball on the next turn.
But how does he kill Mal'Ganis? Yeah. Well, Demon Lords have assembled, and there's actually no way for Thjs to deal with both of them.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, too many demons on the board, and that Anoyotron is also pretty frustrating. Actually, wait, if Mirror Entity is played, the Mal'Ganis comes back from both sides. So he has to deal with it first. Wait.
He can do it.
Yeah, and he won't even lose Jaraxxus in the process. So.
But Gaara will be able to deal with the copy of Mal'Ganis.
I guess he could. Oh man. I think you have to Mirror Entity, but at the same time, why would you, right? You feel like there's no point because what could he possibly play? You're gonna have to do it.
Oh man.
All right. Well, Gaara is gonna play his own, I think, and. It's still not over. It's still not over for both players.
How can it not be over?
I don't even know what. Like, the thing is, there's only one demon that gets buffed by Mal'Ganis right now, and that demon is Jaraxxus.
Yeah.
So this might be a Mal'Ganis, and then you trade Jaraxxus into the 3/4, or whatever. You make trades with your board, and you leave him have his Mal'Ganis. The problem.
So. Like you leave the Anoyotron and his Mal'Ganis.
Exactly.
So
let them fight off.
The defender with the blast mage, and he can clear off that stuff and keep the
Anoyotron, exactly. Well, he doesn't have to silence that. Whoa. So he's just gonna give him an owl and take it slowly. Okay.
Okay.
It still works because he trades a 2/3, then 3/3 gets killed by the 3/15. Then he can even kill the owl with the Anoyotron. So it's a clean board wipe, but he's vulnerable to top decks now, and I don't like that. And I can't.
There's 3 cards.
Oh man. And it's not the top deck. Well,
that does not do it.
Well, he's still alive in his perspective, right? He's still there. So he just pings the Drake, and then Blast Mage is naked on the board.
Yeah.
And I think he has to do it. Like I saw, what was it, Caldi? I think 2 days ago, who played Mech Mage and was in that exact spot and did not play the Blast Mage. Well, if you Fireball phase, then never mind the Blast Mage. That certainly doesn't make sense anymore. Let's see. Well, it's a Shadow Flame. Now this is gonna be the most obvious Mal'Ganis of all time from Gaara. Whew. Sigh of relief here. Says, I'm locked on 4 health. I've got a permanent ice block.
Thjs shaking his head.
Oh!
That's the Frostbolt. Oh, that's pretty good.
It was one
Last turn.
turn away.
Would have been good last turn or on the turn before. No, it's not that great, really.
Okay, wait. So you play Blast Mage, you ping the Owl, you Frostbolt Mal'Ganis. I mean, he's saying maybe there's a glitch.
Oh my god. Nice try. Maybe there was a glitch.
I think if you hover over the very corner of Gul'dan's portrait, there's one spot that's not immune, and you can hit that spot and kill him with Frostbolt, right? Oh man, this Goblin Blast Mage useless for Thjs at the end game.
Wow. That was a fitting end to that 5-game series.
Alright, so
I loved it.
we're gonna be moving on to the next match after this is 3-2 for Gaara, who actually won his last match against the Mech Mage. We knew going into it that a typical Demon Lock was favored against Mech Mage, but with Hobgoblin not so much. But honestly, I think the one of the crucial point of that game was the fact that the Anoyotrons and the Voidwalker, as stupid as it sounds, provided enough taunts, even without Hobgoblin, to stop the Mech Mage to actually use his minions at all.
It was pretty sweet seeing that slime come down and get taunted up, and with the Anoyotrons. Really well played by both players, really.
All right, so well that's gonna be one game for Gaara. So he's equalizing at 1-1 right now in the entire series. Thjs is 0-2 in the entire event. So the Pro League, he still has 7 rounds to go, so he's probably not too worried. But Gaara equalizing probably feels a little safer now. Takes a sigh of relief for at least a few more days before his next match comes up. We're gonna be back after the break with Dog versus Reynad as last match of the day. So that should be a pretty cool match. Number 1, there's Reynad, so by virtue of that, you know, viewer hype. And Dog, a pretty technical player. He loves Rogue. I hope he brings one. And I've been told that he brought a pretty crazy deck to the you know, his lineup. So hopefully that's cool. Be right back. 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere.